there. So I'm Deborah Charns. This is my place at the Namaste Getaway. This is one of my offices. I actually have two offices here in Wimberley, Texas. And I also own the Right Council, WRITE, Council, COUNSEL, and the Namaste Council, the Namaste Getaway. And what I wanted to talk about today is I'm a yoga therapist, a certified yoga therapist. I want to talk about when do you see a yoga therapist. And you can check out some of my previous videos in which I talk about what yoga therapy is and what yoga therapy isn't. But I think a lot of people question, well, how do I know if I should see a yoga therapist or not? Once you find out what a yoga therapist is and once you find a yoga therapist, and if you don't know where to find one, go to iayt.org and you can find there everyone who is certified in your area. So the question that I would ask for you is, when and how do you know if you should go see a physical therapist? When do you know or choose to go to a psychotherapist? When do you choose to go to maybe an acupuncturist or even an occupational therapist or a licensed massage therapist? So I would ask that same question in terms of seeing a yoga therapist. And so I look at it two ways. One is something is bothering you. So typically you go to a physical therapist if you have an injury or if you have something that's bothering you. But you can also choose wellness. So oftentimes it's very normal for people to get routine acupuncture or routine massage therapy, and same thing with psychotherapy. You may go to psychotherapy because something specific is bothering you, or you may go just because you feel better when you go. So again, there are kind of two paths. One is when something is bothering you, and one is when you just want to feel better. So my form of yoga therapy is very much founded in the basics of Ayurveda. And Ayurveda is a life science. And as a life science, there are actually a number of different paths for Ayurveda, just as allopathic medicine has all different paths, such as surgery or OBGYN or mental health. The same thing with Ayurveda. There are many different paths. But to me, what is interesting about Ayurveda is that for the most part, it's about well care. It doesn't mean you don't go to an Ayurvedic doctor if you're not feeling well or if you have an injury. But for the most part, it's about being your best self. So it's always wanting to be healthy and healthier. And it's a non-stop type of thing, which is, again, to me, very similar to acupuncture or massage therapy or psychotherapy. You know, if you go to one acupuncture session, it might really help and give you a kickstart for something that you needed. The same thing for if you go to a licensed massage therapy. If you have a kink in your neck, or if you did too much running one day, then it might be really good to get a massage to take care of that specific issue. But at the same time, who can deny that ongoing massage therapy doesn't feel great? The same thing with acupuncture. I have gone to acupuncture for specific issues that I had, and at the same time for ongoing care so that I would just be feeling my best. And to me, I see a difference in both ways. So the same thing with yoga therapy. So if something is bothering you, typically it's like the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So it's very common for my clients to come to me because something is bothering them. It can be chronic. I have one of my clients was a veteran that had a myriad of issues because of the service that he did and the injuries that he had. So he was in chronic pain, and again, there were a lot of issues that traditional medicine could not help him. And I'm not saying I certainly couldn't cure him, but I definitely could help him to get less pain and to get less sleepless nights. So that's just one example of somebody who may go to yoga therapy because traditional um, resources are not helping them. I mentioned sleep disorders. So sleep disorders, I don't believe in sleeping pills. I do believe in lifestyle management to help sleeping disorders, and so yoga therapy is great for sleeping disorders. Same thing with anything that is stress. And a large percentage of allopathic doctor visits are stress related or stress induced or stress aggravated. So I think we can all agree that it's beneficial to everyone to minimize their stress. And so certainly through yoga therapy, you can minimize the stress. So the other thing I mentioned is, pain. So pain can be acute or it can be chronic. So I mentioned the veteran who had chronic pain. There are also clients that will come to me because they have acute physical pain. So anyway, those are the issues when somebody goes to a yoga therapist because something is bothering them. But I think I would encourage everybody to try yoga therapy just to be the healthiest and the happiest. In that case, it's things like bone health. So I actually have a series of workshops that I do about bone health, and it's to improve your bone density, to help prevent things such as osteoporosis and osteoarthritis. I also do a lot that can help for emotions. And again, sometimes they're acute and sometimes they're chronic issues for emotions. So one thing that I love working with are people going through transitions. Transitions we know are stressful. So transitions are a great time to go to a yoga therapist to help kind of give you that boost and help you feel even better than you felt before. The other thing too is for diet and nutrition. So just as somebody might go to a nutritionist, you can go to a yoga therapist if that's something that they work with, and that is something that I work with. So anyway, those are just a few of the ideas of when to go to a yoga therapist. And I would love to hear your comments below as to anything that hopefully I opened up your eyes and hopefully you're like, hey, that's cool. I had no idea about that. And of course, I invite you to check out my other videos on YouTube. Also to follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. My Facebook pages are The Namaste Council and my Instagram is my name. So thank you so much for joining me. From my heart to yours, namaste.